Don't talk to strangers, be careful in foreign countries, be safe, be smart, use common sense, and whatever you do, don't get into their vehicle. Well, here I am on a random stranger's bike in a foreign country on a 3-day bike trip into the mountains where there are no other tourists. I have no idea where I'm going, what I'm doing, where I'm staying, or who this guy even really is. So let's start with a little backstory. How did I end up in this situation? Well, not 1 hour of arriving in the new city of NHA Trang, I was approached by a random guy on the side of the road who pulled up on his bike and introduced himself as Han. He explained to me he takes people on random trips to the areas of Vietnam most won't experience for days or even weeks at a time. And after some deliberation, I said I have 3 days spare, so why not take the chance? These random moments and events are the places you find the real adventure and make the memories you won't forget. Hopefully for the right reasons. So you join me and my potential kidnapper on day 1 of our 3-day trip into the real Vietnam to explore a side I may not have seen had I not took this chance. So starting on this journey, and we're just driving on the roads out of NHA Trang and round the side of the mountains, and look at this beautiful view behind me. This is going to be a good trip. And not 20 minutes into the trip, I got my first "oh no" moment. Just been dropped off at the side of the road while he says he takes his wife back. He said it'll be a couple of minutes, so hopefully he's coming back and hasn't just left me here. But we're only just getting out of the actual city at the moment, and I've been warned not to have my camera and everything sticking off the bike while we're here in case someone goes past and snatches it. So as soon as we get further out, I'll stick the proper cameras and everything on, and we'll film a lot more of the journey. I'm excited though, this should be amazing. We drive for an hour or so, slowly making our way out of the main city of NHA Trang, heading towards the mountains. And as we take our first break, Han explains to me the history of the area we have just reached.
Some people work army, finish the war, they don't go home. They stay here, government free land.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they stay on the land and then...
Yeah, him to go Hanoi again and stay here. Only American live in NHA Trang.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere here. Some American have helicopter, you know.
Yeah.
Rocket, you know.
Okay, yeah. Down on here where the people live.
Yeah, sometimes he hit the bomb, you know, long time. Yeah.
Oh, wow. This area was where some of the Vietnamese soldiers were based during the war, using the land to their advantage, and the Americans were based in the city of NHA Trang. They will come out to lay down their attack with helicopters, rockets and bombs, of which you will see lasting evidence shortly.
Next stop, we up there.
Up in the mountains,
Yeah,
up there?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. So just took a little stop so I could take some photos. This is incredible around here. Just driving through the mountains. All the roads here have been like newly paved because it was all bumpy and everything from after the war. So you'll see a lot of the construction on the way round. As you can see, when we were coming up, the one side of the mountains was green and the other side was like all dead, and apparently that's where all the napalm and everything had hit during the war. So nothing grows there at the moment. I don't know if it will grow there again. Han as well has given me these sunglasses because I asked if he could take me to a shop because I lost mine in Cambodia again, and he went to his house, picked me some up and said he's given me these ones. So I think we carry on now. I think we're going to stop at a coffee shop or something, as well as Han's waiting up the road for me slightly, smiling and having a break, waving, enjoying himself and enjoying life. We drive further through local towns and villages as we make our way deeper into the mountains. The scenery and the landscape start to become more and more beautiful. We have moved away from the tourist side of Vietnam for sure now, as the locals become more curious to see a foreign face and the lifestyle visibly changes. We stop at a coffee shop in the middle of nowhere as Han explains to me our next stop on our way to our accommodation.
Small town over there.
Okay.
American, fuel 300 people
300.
fuel one house.
Oh wow.
One night 68.
One night.
One night 1,068.
Oh wow.
House 300 people one house in the village.
Horrible.
You see in the monument.
The monument, yeah. Okay.
The top of the monument down 300 people.
Okay. So we just took a little quick stop off at this monument. There was a village here, and I believe 333 people were killed here. And now they put the monument up over the top of it. It's very sad and tragic to think of all the places where the war was going on. And it definitely hasn't been forgotten here. I definitely needed this little stop up as well, because my arse is killing me on the back of that bike. So I think it's just not being used to it. Like sitting on the back of a bike, and because you're just sitting there, you notice it more. So I think we're staying in like a village tonight, and then tomorrow is the Ho Chi Minh Trail, which he said is even more beautiful, so I'm looking forward to that. We get a quick bite to eat for lunch at a local Vietnamese restaurant. Oh, thank you. Plenty of people eating here, so you know it's going to be good. Very full. Back on the bike once again, we enjoy the last of the roads, heading into the village town where we would be spending the first night. We take one more brief stop on the local lake, and knowing I don't have to sit on this bike for much longer is a thought of relief to my mind.
Today I booked hotel in the village near lake.
Okay, amazing. Over here?
Yeah.
Very nice. This way you say in the morning, sunrise?
Day, photo.
Photo, video, yeah.
Fisherman. You look fisherman.
Oh, the fisherman.
Yeah.
In the morning.
Different NHA Trang,
Very. NHA Trang is nice because of the beach and everything. It's very pretty, but the drive through the mountains. Yeah, of course. I love when you beep and people wave, because they see in the smiles on people's faces. See, if I didn't meet you on the bike,
Yeah.
I never see this.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Queen Church.
Yeah. And we're now at the hotel by the lake. We've arrived, so that's our 4th day over, and we'll see what the hotel's like now. Well, it's been a good day, a good ride, and tomorrow's meant to be even better. So we're at the hotel now, and it's a lot better than I was actually expecting. Like a hell of a lot better. I think it's actually better than the place I'm staying at back in the Trang, which is mental. He kept telling me, oh, we're staying in a village tonight. I've booked you in a village, so I'm just expecting like, I don't know, some sort of hut room. Honestly, I'm really impressed with this room. So I was prepping myself to stay somewhere where I'm going to get bit to death by mosquitoes again, especially being by a lake. And this is like, I mean, the lake is picturesque. He's got me a view on the lake. There is a little downside. They're doing work out there, so I have a view of the lake, but I also have a view of diggers. But yeah, I'm really impressed. That is day 1 done of the 3-day trip. Apparently tomorrow is meant to be even more beautiful, so I look forward to that. We are hitting the Ho Chi Minh Trail and going up through the mountains until we get to our next accommodation. So I will see you all bright and early in the morning for day 2. Good morning, beautiful people. And what a way to start the morning. So Hannah's organised for me to go out on the lake this morning, and he's organised for me to go on one of these thin wooden boats. Feels a little bit unsteady, not being used to it, but I trust in my guide, and this is extremely beautiful and picturesque. You can see the sun coming over the little hills and mountains. It's very early, I didn't get much sleep. It was about 5 o'clock when I got up, but it's definitely worth it when you see stuff like this. And the fact that there's no tourists around here, this is the real Vietnam. That was absolutely incredible. I'm so happy I got up to do that this morning. There was a bit of construction going on outside the hotel I'm at and around the lake, which is a bit of a shame. Breaks the peace of it a little bit, but it was still absolutely beautiful, and watching that sun come over the hills, absolutely fantastic.
Before setting off out into the mountains once again, Han takes me to the local village where our hotel was situated. But now it's morning and we can take a proper look around. You can see the rice laid out to dry in front of the hand-built houses raised off the ground, and the space underneath is used to keep their cattle. As they earn more money from the rice and cattle and few shops they have, they are able to build houses with better materials. We walk straight through to see the easy access to the lake for the fishermen, before heading round the backs of some of the houses. Oh, and there's a lot of dogs here roaming around, and as much as I love them, I don't think some of them felt the same way back.
A lot of dogs.
I'm starting to think I'm not welcome here. What are you looking at?
That was an amazing morning. I'm so glad that Han organised that for me. He's currently just settling up the bill, and I'm going to quickly pack now, and then we will be on our way on the Ho Chi Minh Trail. Let's see what today has in store.
Officially day 2, back on the bike, here we go. That's a big ass dog.
So just stopping at a market to get some breakfast. I can't eat heavy again this morning, so I've asked if we can just stop and get some fruit and stuff like that. So
after breakfast, the climb up to the mountains began. Now Han had promised today would be even better. Let's see if it delivers.
So we're currently driving up the side of a beautiful mountain on these long winding roads. Just stopped to have a look down the mountain itself. This drive is already incredible. Some of the lorry and van drivers are a little bit mental, like overtaking you on corners and that, but I suppose it's just different here. Fairly quiet coming up, lovely winding roads and beautiful scenic views. Let's carry on. Yeah.
Tomorrow more beautiful. See the waterfall come down.
Okay.
Tomorrow cold a little bit.
Han in true fashion telling me tomorrow will be even more beautiful, and the fact we would be higher in the mountains, it could get colder.
Just stopped again because there's these rice fields you can see behind me. Just around every corner there's just absolute beauty in the mountains.
Everybody live here, you know, in the village.
Oh, they live on here?
Low tin house.
So all the villagers for this area that we've got to now actually live down below us on this little floating village. Honestly, this is so surreal. So you can tell this is the proper Vietnam. I mean, as we're driving down and you can see the kids walking, moving the cattle up and down the roads. And then you get to places like this and see these beautiful floating villages surrounded by the mountains on a lake. Tell you what though, one thing is the riding from yesterday has not wore off yet, because it's taking small distances and my legs and my arse are already aching. I don't think I'm made to sit on the back of a bike.
We weren't actually too far into the day yet, and the periods between stops felt so long. I was looking forward to each one.
So finally another stop off. I'm not gonna lie, the comfort level on today's journey is not great. I think it's partly to do with riding all day yesterday for like 7-8 hours. but it's only like 11 o'clock now, so I've probably got 6 more hours of riding to do. So my tolerance for this ride is going down bit by bit. The road is more bumpy today as well. It's smooth in most parts, and then all of a sudden you'll come to patches where it looks like they've fixed like potholes and stuff, and it's just up and down. Being at the back, I'm just like bouncing up and down. I mean, stuff like this makes it absolutely worth it, but my tolerance level is decreasing slowly. I'm hoping that as we get to certain parts, we can stop more, get off, take some photos, stop more. That last bit was like an hour and a half on the back of the bike. And yeah, it's a little bit much, but we're getting there. Seeing views like this is absolutely incredible, and to think that this was a chance encounter. I'd been in the Trang not 1 hour, went out for some food and a bit of exploring, and randomly bumped into him when he shouted me on the street. Went for a coffee with him, and now I'm on a 3-day trip. Absolutely crazy. And I get to see the real Vietnam. As we're getting higher up in the mountains, you can see more of the landscape. It looks unbelievable. It's just everything to do with nature here, with lakes, mountains, trees, farms, coffee plantations, little villages. And what makes this adventure even more epic than the landscapes and everything is the fact that you don't see other tourists, as I've mentioned. It makes it seem new and fresh, and like you're the first person to discover it, which obviously isn't the case. Many people have done this before, but it gives you that sense of feeling. So I think we get to the top of this hill next. We're going to have some lunch. It's about 1 o'clock now, and then we're off to see the big Buddha at the top of one of the mountains. But let's get back to the bike. So Hans just brought me up to the top of this hill, and there's a temple on the top, which I'm going to go inside of in a minute. But behind me, you can see a giant statue, absolutely huge. Let's take a walk around the statue first then, and then we will head inside the temple and see what's inside there. Jesus, that's massive. So just heading up into the temple now. Keep hearing this bell going off like a gong to take off shoes. So there's a woman in there that's banging that gong every, I don't know, 20 seconds. Don't envy her of that job. It's a very beautiful place. Temple, giant statues, gardens, loads of these statues. This one's a little bit different. The garden area is really nice. It's got the laughing Buddha and everything as well. The statue's outside. So it's very nice to see. The huge statue as well is incredible. Walk down and see the waterfall, and then go back to Hon and see if we're off to anywhere next, or if we're going to the accommodation for the night. So couldn't get into the waterfall. I asked Han, and it's actually closed temporarily. I don't know what the reason is for. They just had a sign on there. Han doesn't know either. I actually seen the first couple of tourists I've seen, like a couple of couples, through one of the last towns that we went through. It was a little bit busier, so it's only took 2 full days so far to spot the first couple of tourists.
We journey closer to some more built-up local villages and towns where the locals grow a range of things on their land.
All the Vietnamese people as well are shocked by you and staring, and the kids in the villages take a second look and they're waving and smiling at you like it's a rare occasion for you to be there. England! And there's just coffee plantations everywhere that we're driving at the moment. You can see like the big ones in the farms up on the hills and that. But each of these really nice houses has their own coffee plantation, like as their garden sort of thing. And it's the reason that they have nicer houses than some of the villages that we've drove through.
I started to recognise the town that we are heading into. I ate there after the waterfall abseiling video in the lap, as if I've ended up in the same town that I just left. We check in and then we go to a local spot for some Vietnamese food. And just before we go to sleep for the night, Han's friends invite us for some late night tea. Good morning, beautiful people. It is day 3, third and final day of this adventure. Apparently it's going to be even more beautiful than the days before, so we'll see if that holds up. I don't know how my tolerance is going to be today on the bike after a couple of days of riding, because towards the end of yesterday I did struggle a little bit, but we'll see how this goes. So I'm going to finish packing now and then we'll go down and meet Han and we'll jump on the bike and head off. Today was the final day and honestly it became the most incredible. The plan was to head back to NHA TRANG to my original hotel, but to get there now we would climb the mountains and the views we were about to see were truly amazing. I even passed by the adventure park where I did the waterfall abseiling in a previous video. Felt weird being back so soon. So day 3 has begun and this is our first stop of the day, an absolute picturesque lake with some hills and mountains behind it. Looks like they do a few activities here, make a bit of money off it. You've got the swan pedalos, some boats to take people out. What a great way to start the morning. It's not too far from Dalat. Dalat is where I stayed last night, so we actually did a loop and I ended up going back to the place I was at 4 days before. This was just a brief stop to take a look at the beauty of the lake, but being as it wasn't too far out of the city of Dalat, it catered more towards tourism, hence the range of activities. So we only stopped briefly, as today we would be heading higher than we had before to see the most stunning views and sights I had seen in Vietnam so far.
Something little bit after we up the hill, you photo the waterfall, mountain, yeah.
Beautiful.
We carried on climbing the mountain roads, taking brief coffee stops along the way to take breaks from sitting on a bike by, well, sitting on a chair. It's quite a bonus that Han actually smokes, so I get these extra little stop-offs to talk to you guys, walk a little bit and stretch my legs. I think we're heading up to the high points of the mountains today before we go back to NHA TRANG, so hopefully there'll be some amazing views up there for us to see. Hopefully we can end day 3 on a big one. If you notice on the way when I'm filming on the bike, the roads are really nice around here. The one thing that's absolutely mental are the buses. The buses are essentially king of the road. They're the biggest thing on the road. Lorries not far behind. They absolutely bomb around you and just expect you to get out of the way, and to be honest, if you don't, you're screwed anyway, so you kind of have to. As we started to get higher, the nature amidst the mountains themselves was breathtaking. Driving through these mountains is absolutely unreal. I wasn't lying. Today is even more beautiful and picturesque than the days before. Stunning little waterfall behind me coming down the mountains, and then the range of the mountains you can see in front. Honestly, if you like riding bikes or you're a good driver and you don't mind driving in Vietnam, I recommend you drive on these roads yourself, because it's a magnificent experience. So beautiful here. I'm so happy that I met Han, and it just shows like coincidence. It was so random meeting him. I'd only been in the train for an hour. He could have drove past at any other time and we wouldn't have bumped into each other. I know that even when I leave Vietnam, if I end up doing the things that I had on my list before, and there are tourists there, at least I've got to see the real Vietnam at a point, and I'm very, very grateful for that. But this wasn't even it yet. We climbed even higher. And if you had asked me 5 years ago, do I think that one day I would be able to experience sights like this, I would never have believed you. This is incredible. This is the best sight that we've seen on the journey. This is the absolute pinnacle of the journey so far. Looking down into that valley behind me with the waterfall flowing down and into it, so high up. This is like amazing. This was it, that moment that topped off the journey. we slowly headed back down the mountain, we got to follow the flow all the way down.
We've circled down the mountain now and we've come to where the bottom of the waterfall comes off, and looking up at it, it's just the water flowing through these massive rocks through like the jungle over the mountains. It's honestly unbelievable. This has made this trip, through whatever pain of riding on the back of a bike and all that sort of stuff before, this alone has made this worth it.
We took a brief stop before heading through the last parts of the mountain areas on our journey back, and even lower down you could see the vast landscape across the real Vietnam.
We're slowly making our way back to the Trang, and we're coming down the mountain now from at the top where the waterfall and everything was, and I'm just stopping at a few places on the way as we come down so we can just see the different views and the scale of everything as we come down the level. I mean, you can see everything here, like the whole landscape. It's amazing. Tell you one thing, it's a lot hotter today. I don't know if that's because we headed from the hotter place to the cooler place up in the mountains, and now we're going back towards Nha Trang, which is a little bit warmer, and I can just feel the difference in the effects of it. But definitely feeling the heat beat down on me a little bit more today. But honestly, pain on the back of the bike, heat beating down on me, sunburn, whatever, it's worth it to see what I have seen today. Vietnam is incredible, absolutely incredible, and I'm only a week and a half into it maximum. I've still got so much to do heading up north, and everyone says that start in the south, head up north, because it gets better and better and better the more you head up. So to get better than this, it's going to be incredible.
From here we headed back through the villages at the base of the mountains, slowly working our way back into the city vibe of Nha Trang before reaching my hotel. I went for one last drink with Han, and then we parted ways. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more adventures, wait till you see what I have coming up. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you won't miss it, and I will see you soon. Peace.